formation evidently crossed under in the turn. And coming back into position, he overcorrected badly and drove directly into the propeller of 4315341 with his right wing. Then with 341 left wingtip hitting the propeller of 873, he pulled back up. He then rolled over on top of 341 and hit his right wing with the nose of his left propeller. The aircraft fell apart, disintegrating as they fell. The aircraft fell in a field between Tinwell and Ketton. These practice formations gathered many onlookers, so there were many witnesses in addition to the air crews in the following aircraft. Although not fully documented, it is said that some personnel may have tried to jump out towards the river. There was one survivor. Corporal Thomas Chambers was a radio operator in aircraft 341. The crew chief asked him to stand at the rear of the aircraft while he got some water for the paratroopers. As he was backed by the open door, he put on a chest harness and chest pack. Standing about 4 feet from the front of the door, he saw the right wingtip of the 833 pass close by and then felt a severe jar, followed by another. He does not remember plainly, but he knows that the second jar knocked him backwards and out of the aircraft. Unfortunately, he survived the war and was discharged in 1945, where he again completed pilot training and joined the 44th Tactical Reconnaissance Squadron. Unfortunately, he was killed in 1955 when his Canberra aircraft crashed near the airbase.
Thank you, Shaun. So for those of you who've been in the airborne forces and undoubtedly jumped out of aircraft, I suspect 1,300 feet is not terribly high up in the overall scheme of things, and particularly in a traumatic and violent situation like that collision seemed to be. This, of course, was early July. D-Day was already 1 month old, and the airborne forces in the UK, both British, Polish and American, were beginning a series of intensive pre-battle training operations to familiarise themselves with what laid ahead. The Polish formation was unique in as much as its members had come from all manner of routes to escape German occupation, to eventually find themselves in the Polish Parachute Brigade, training in Scotland, obtaining their jump wings at RAF Ringway, now Manchester Airport. They had trained, lived together, having experienced all sorts of hardships and dangers on the way, and I would suspect that it's inevitable therefore that the loss of such a high number of men from one particular company under those circumstances was deeply felt by everybody that served alongside them. Turning to the names of the fatalities, it's important also not to forget the United States Army Air Force crews. First Lieutenant Leo Byrne, First Lieutenant James Leonard, Second Lieutenant Paris Bray, Second Lieutenant Richard Vendella, Lieutenant Charles Johnson, Sergeant Richard Hoyt, Sergeant Bert Salling, Sergeant Jack Dosler, and Corporal Thomas Chambers. On the Polish side, Strzelec Adynkiewicz Antoni und Smogorny Osmania, Strzelec Białorskórski Tadeusz, Strzelec Biryło Stanisław und Nawilki Sokolka, Strzelec Bojakowski Michał, Porucznik Bugielski Rudolf, Strzelec Dobrowolski Stanisław, Kania Gorczyński Mieczysław, Strzelec Górski Franciszek, Starszy Sierżant Harazimowicz Leonard, Strzelec Jaremczuk Jakób, Strzelec Sikora Jan, Plutonowy Jaworski Stanisław, Starszy Sierżant Kadej Marian, Starszy Sierżant Kania Kazimierz, Starszy Sierżant Korzonkiewicz Teofil, Kapral Machoń Bronisław, Strzelec Mazur Michał, Kapral Piwowarczyk Jan, Kapral Plizga Józef, Strzelec Podolski Józef, Siekierka Bronisław, podchorąży Sokolski, sergeant podchorąży Szymoński, podporucznik Trybus Stanisław, strzelec Wierzbicki Jan, and plutonowy podchorąży Zieliński. So those were the Polish fatalities on that evening. They're all buried here in the book. Those are photographs of the grave being prepared, if you wish to see that. So bearing their names, they're all very young, born say between 1912 I think, and thereafter up to 1919. It's all young men with a lot to live for, with their friends, the mates, and that aircraft going down. It's something to think about. I'll read from Lawrence Binion. I think it's as pertinent here as everywhere else. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. I invite you now to join in a minute's silence in their memory. Thank you. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. If anybody has any crosses, wreaths or flowers which they'd like to come and put on one of the graves of these paratroopers, I invite you please to come and do so. Thank you.
Even written in Polish as well. I didn't know.
That's it, yes.